Hey folks, this is Cantu and Joseph Dadich, and we're talking today about some copywriting. And for those of you who don't know what copywriting really is, it's just like your own salesman in print. So that's what we've done here. We've got some examples of some stuff. And Joseph, welcome.
Well, thanks, Ted. Thanks for having me again, and it's good to see everyone. And I'll tell you what, some of the brain-bending ideas that you've come up with have truly helped me because of my background. I'm not a marketer by any means. I've had to learn salesmanship because they don't teach you this in college. Okay, grad school.
They used to.
They used to.
Back in the 40s and 50s, but it's kind of like an ancient art, so it's hard to find this stuff anymore.
And there's a lot of phonies out there, is what I've found. You know, you can pick up a book and think it's going to give you everything, or you go to an expensive seminar and it's some individual who's just out there to make a buck. He has no interest in you. And I'll tell you what, some of the things that you taught me in one afternoon, I learned more in that afternoon than, you know, as
great.
We've talked about. I've been writing my first sales copy probably over 4 or 5 months conservatively. I mean, not every day, building on it and getting to the point to where, you know, I want to make it look good. And in that one afternoon, and we're going to show everyone here the Ted's famous 10-step technique.
The Frankenstein technique. This is
you want to show them?
Yeah, I guess. Well, show them the original first. We had the original sales letter.
Here's the original.
And it was quite extensive. It was long, and it was kind of repetitious, and we kind of narrowed it down. So we'll show you that. Oh my! We got like 25 pages, folks, right here. See, this is all good stuff, but you know it's a little repetitious, and we want people to jump up and take action. That's what we want. So we have our headline, and you can see before it was kind of big, and wasn't quite punchy enough. And so we that was the first thing we want to do. We want people to. I think it was David Ogilvy said that headline was at 97% of the sales letter. You know, they got to read they got to read the headline first before they jump into the rest of it. So I want to hold on to that real quick. And then what we've done is shorten it considerably right here. And it says, well, is that right? The government?
No, but
okay. Well, we
got a minor touch up.
Little minor touch up we got to do there, but basically it just says that estate planning attorneys can get 97% of most family estates when you lose a family member. And we just kind of go into 15 critical reasons why you need to hire Joe and get him on your estate planning stuff. So this is really important, and we cut the letter in pieces. You want to tell them the whole story, how we did that?
Well, I get the call from Ted saying, well, why don't you bring a pair of scissors, some tape, and at first I thought we were just going to make a collage. I thought I was back in middle school. I thought it was gonna be an easy day, but so I brought a couple copies of this 25-pager that you see here, and
I can't even find where this thing starts. Is it taped on there?
Yeah, this is probably the.
Oh, okay.
Back. That's the back end. I'll pull it through a little bit.
Ah, there we go. We got some technical difficulties here, folks. That's okay. We get the idea. It's big.
Well, it starts here.
Okay. All right.
So, well, first we
cut the letter into like 50 parts. Roughly.
Here's all the different parts of different subsections that I had written. I thought it was cohesive, and it's difficult when you're on the computer and you're trying to put everything, visualize everything. So You know, we went through and cut everything up, not just randomly, just here's one section, here's another section, here's a sub-headline, here's an offer, here's a testimonial, and here's actually leftovers. We went through, here's the first section, and it didn't start like this, because we started from the beginning, which this is Ted's 10 points right here, that I know he's going to talk to you a little bit about this, but I wanted to show you a little bit of what this looks like.
Yeah, so basically what I had Joe do is cut up the letter into many pieces. We jumbled them all up, and he said, well, how do I know which ones, you know, where the headlines are and where the bullet points are? I says, I don't. We're going to pick out which ones are important to you and make a strong, cohesive letter based on what you've written. And so we took out all the stuff that we didn't really need. These are all the leftovers. And what we have here is a strong, cohesive sales letter that we're going to retype and put together for an upcoming website. And this thing is really strong. It's power packed with some pretty, you know, eye-grabbing information. But I had him follow a 9-step, actually it's a 10-step process. And first we have the headline, right? Because 97% of all offers is considered on the headline. And 2, I had him go into a story of kind of like a attention grabber story of why they would need to buy these services. And as you know, search engine spiders like bullets. They do. And you're writing for 2 different types of audiences. You're writing for one, people who read, and you're also reading for the skimmers. And skimmers are the ones that don't really read. They just kind of skim and get their general idea and say, how much is the price? So they're actually going to go right through this whole thing and kind of get the meat out of it. So that's what they write the bullets points for, you know, to make sure that there's a good eye flow going through the whole piece. And also, we go into, you know, we introduce a scenario, what it would take, you know, what's it like when the solution goes into place, you know, what kind of results can we expect, and we start to introduce how the 15 critical points of estate planning can help you with your estate planning needs. And this is the interesting part, because we really don't go into solutions. We don't want to give the game away, as they say. We just want to kind of tease them. So they're teaser bullets, and they're meant to basically get your attention and to keep you reading. We want people to actually read the whole thing. And I think, Joe, that was one thing we kind of talked about a little bit too, is we said, you know, will people actually read the whole sales letter, because it's pretty big. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think if it's done in the proper format, and you're using the proper techniques, and you're not just throwing stuff in there at the wall and seeing if it sticks, I think the reader is more likely to read it all. And nowadays you have more individuals on the computer, obviously, with the invention of, not invention, but with the YouTube phenomenon that's happening. A lot of people are on the computer. I mean, it's, you know, I find myself probably on more so than I have been. I had working in another industry, and so definitely having the ability to have this formula to force the reader to want to read it, which is what the sales copy does, and that's what some of the top sales pro, and I would put Ted up there just based on this formula, and I know I've seen some of his other handiwork online with some of his other clients.
Well, thanks. You know, it's interesting too, I think, that because you mentioned that people go online quite a bit, and it's interesting because we tested how long people stay and look at certain things. You know, Google Analytics, right? It's no big secret, it's free, you can use it, but you can track on how long people stay on your site and how long they look at your page.